How's it going, hetero and homosexuals? And today you're going to come through a full body workout with me, with my new fancy camera of course, and it just so happens to be one of the workouts in the Strong in 6 programme that's launching on the 31st of January. And if you're not on the priority list, get down to the bio now, fill out your details, you'll get all the information there. You're not committed to anything. All it is just you getting on the priority list to get more info and have first dibs at the spaces when they go live, and at the reduced rate of only £99, which for a guaranteed bunch of PBs as well as getting leaner over 6 weeks. I think that sounds like a no-brainer to me if you are serious about your training. So go down in the description, follow the link, fill out your details, and I'll hopefully see you in there when the programme starts. So because I practice what I preach, I am doing the programme just now in Strong in 6, and I would say that I'm trialling it, but I can't really call it a trial when I just know that it's going to work. And what I'm doing today is one of the sessions from the 3-day-a-week split, because I've got jiu-jitsu stuff going on and all that training. I can only train 3 days a week in the gym, but the programme does come with an option for a 3-day, a 4-day or a 5-day split. So today, focusing on deadlifts, and I'm going to take you through it, explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and just give you a little bit more insight into the programme. So this is the start of week 4 of the programme for me, so we're past the halfway point and we're really getting into crunch time now. So I've got 2 more normal weeks of training before I do my testing week and test my 1 rep max, and so far everything's going swimmingly. Numbers are flying up every single week and it's going pretty cushy, I'm not gonna lie. Today's session starting off with deadlifts. Now I'm doing sumo deadlifts, and that's not because that's part of the programme, it's just because I'm just doing a block of sumos just now, just because conventional deadlifts do take quite a toll on my back with my pre-existing back injuries. So we're doing sumo because that does feel a little bit nicer on my back. And I've never really been great at sumos, but I've already kind of hit numbers throughout the last few weeks that I've never done before for my reps, and I'm hoping to get past the 230 in the coming weeks, which is what I'd done the week prior to the programme starting, and I kind of done a test to see absolutely where my strength was at that point. Now the way that we're training our main exercises during the programme, are squats, deadlifts and bench press, is we're only doing 2 working sets on each of these in each session. Now this is something I famously called out and disagreed with before in a video, and I got my hell of a lot of abuse for it. However, in that video I quite clearly say that I think just doing that minimal volume approach, your 1 really hard top set with a drop set or 2 following, I did still think that was beneficial when it's in the right place. And I think this is in the right place when you are trying to max out your strength. But in my opinion, if you do this type of training year round, it's just not going to be beneficial because you're not getting enough volume in at the particular exercise to get proficient in it. And also as well, if you are doing it properly and training at max intensity, then that shouldn't be sustainable for any length of time. Now we're using a 5-week peak over this programme, so I think this style of training is perfectly acceptable because you're conserving all your energy on the way up to your heavy weight and your top set, and obviously when you conserve your energy, in theory you should be able to do more reps than if you're doing volume on the way up. And I think 1 drop set after is suffice, because you do a max effort top set, a max effort back off set, you should be pretty cooked at that point and having done enough volume. And again, when you're peaking for strength, trying to get like high volume in, it's not the most important thing. We want to keep the volume sort of medium to low. So that's me done all my warm-up sets, and that's me now up to my top set, which is going to be 222.5 today, and following the PSP, the peak strength protocol, we're aiming for 3 reps a day, and it should be pretty easy. Now the way that I recommend you warm up to get to your top set, you want to do your early warm-up sets like the bar and maybe just a wee touch lightweight, but I normally like to do 4 warm-up sets, a set of 5, a set of 3, a set of 2, a set of 1, with the jumps incrementally getting smaller each time. And obviously it's going to depend on what your final number is, it's going to depend on the numbers you work on the way up and how big the jumps are. My last warm-up rep there, I done a single at 215. That did feel a little bit harder because I'm too busy fanning about with the camera and stuff and wasn't quite concentrating when I got set up. Wee bit out of line, kept the bar a wee bit too far away from me. It did feel harder, but 222.5 or 3 should be on today. There's no reason to think otherwise. So going to get my head in this now and get this set done. Felt like I rushed the first one a little bit there and yanked a bit too much, but calmed it down after, feeling good, and pretty comfortable. Obviously not too short of breath or anything like that. don't feel like, oh my God, certainly more reps in the tank, and that's what you want. We obviously want to be pushing hard, but not to the brink of death, so we're always leaving ourselves that extra wee bit to go. And then in 2 weeks' time, when I go for the 1 rep max, that's when we put ourselves to the brink of death. It's also a hard life being an influencer because I'm trying to record this at the same time and also get the clip from my phone for the Instagram. I hope to God that I am actually in the shot when I'm doing those deadlifts, because the screen's that small on this thing, I can barely see it. Oh, jeez. And that is 198.45 is my drop set. And that's deadlifts done. Not hundreds of sets and different variations, just get in, work them hard, 2 sets, bush. And remember, during this period, we're not looking for loads of volume, we're actually trying to keep our volume as low as possible so that we're going to be recovering better and be ready for the next again session. If you do your peaking process properly, and when you do my peaking process properly, you actually feel the training get easier week on week, even when you're going heavier, rather than it feeling harder and more tiring. Now we're on a couple secondary exercises that we're going to do, and it is still important, even when you've got your focus of your big 3 lifts, or whatever lifts you choose to focus on, that you do keep pushing on all your other lifts, your secondary stuff and assistance exercises, and train them as heavy and as relatively hard as you can as well. So today we are doing shoulder press. Obviously having nice strong shoulders is important for bench pressing. We've got bench press variations in our other sessions, including bench press itself. So today we're doing a bit more shoulder focused work for our main sort of pushing exercise. So the set structure on these is a bit different. We are doing a moderate amount of volume, so we're doing 4 sets, ascending up to a top set. And the reason behind this is because we want a decent amount of volume in, but we don't want it to be too fatiguing, and that's why we do the ascending sets that way, because you still can get really strong doing that, despite people seemingly think that if you do a set of 4, 20 kilos lighter than what your top set of 4 is going to be, it's going to tire you out. Like, it's just nonsense. But it will still hinder you somewhat, which is obviously good, because if I went all out balls to the wall on my shoulders today and then bench press 2 days later, that bench press might be affected if my shoulders are fatigued. So it's allowing me to train hard, but not too hard that is going to have a knock-on effect. So today I am working up to 80 kilos as my top set, which I'm just about to do. And again, similar to the way that we sort of taper the reps down on the main exercises, we do the same on our secondary exercises as well. So the first 3 weeks of the programme, we were doing sets of 5, and now we are down to sets of 4. And that's obviously going to allow us to keep those numbers coming up and getting nice and big and strong. Let's hope that this camera is actually catching me doing the sets here. Ah, shit. Don't know if you've seen that, but I did get 4 pretty easy. So now we are doing a secondary pulling exercise, which is going to be pull-ups. One of my favourite exercises. One of the exercises that's just going to make your back strong as fuck. And that's what we're doing now for the same ascending sets of 4. Pull-ups aren't like a powerlifting specific movement, like there's not too much direct crossover in helping like your big 3 powerlifting movements, and also because most powerlifters are fat pricks and can't actually do pull-ups, but they are one of the best exercises you can do for just developing brute strength. And obviously, if you don't know my style of training, we're not like trying to be powerlifters, we just want to get you strong as fuck. And there's very few better and cooler exercises to get strong as fuck on than pull-ups. And normally in my one-to-one coaching, I would be focusing on, you know, maybe like 4 or 5 main lifts, and pull-ups would be one of them, with a strong in 6, because it's obviously a condensed time frame. We're just focusing on the big 3 powerlifting moves, but normally in my one-to-one coaching I like to get people strong as fuck on pull-ups too. And I'm saying that I like to get them, they like to get strong on pull-ups. So that's the main exercises done, and now on to the assistance work, which is going to be fewer sets, slightly higher reps, but it's still coming down from what it was at the start of the programme. So got a few exercises, going to do 3 sets of 5 on. And you might be thinking, oh, I've done all the hard stuff, and this is where the session gets a little bit easier, but you'd be wrong, because first up we have got, oh, shudder even just saying it. We are doing barbell Bulgarian split squats. Kill me now. I actually just need to get a set done. I'm going to come back and talk to you in a second. That's how much I'm shitting myself. So with a 3-day-a-week plan, it's 2 full body sessions and then the final session is just an upper body session. And the reason behind that, we've obviously got our squat session and our deadlift session. So we front load all the lower body work in those 2 days, and that basically just gives us more recovery time, because if we were to do, let's just say, squats, deadlifts, and then on day number 3, an RDL, or a split squat, or leg press, or whatever, and we were training that pretty hard, then that's only going to give you a few days recovery time before you go back to the lower body work again. So the way that I've structured it is that you've got your 2 lower body exercises in each session. Session 1, let's just call it Monday, you've got back squats, RDLs. Session number 2, you've got deadlifts and split squats. And then session number 3, which let's just say is on the Friday or the Saturday or whatever, has no leg work. So you've got from like the Wednesday, from day 2, all the way back round to day 1 for your legs to be fully recovered. But on the flip side of that, you've got to do these bastards after doing deadlifts, and they are just the most horriblest exercise in the world. They're a really freaking good exercise, and I've said this before, they're one of the exercises that I can like really pinpoint to, that when I've done Bulgarian split squats, that's when I've noticed the biggest gains in my squats and my deadlifts. So unfortunately, whenever it comes round to business time, 9 times out of 10, they are in the programme. It's not very nice, but it is what it is. Got eggs and omelettes and whatever the fuck that saying is. So it was 3 sets of 6 in week 1 to 3, now we're on to sets of 5, and I am probably being a little bit more conservative with the weight, and partly me being a bitch, partly because again, they are pretty taxing. Obviously, I want to tax myself on my squats and my deadlifts, and not these. So now we're on a little bit more enjoyable action, doing some dips. Again, 3 sets of 5, moderately heavy, not like trying to put myself at the brink of death. And 37.5 is the working weight for today. And as you can maybe tell, fatigue's starting to set in a little bit. Mostly just from the split squats, to be fair, but on the whole. And now we are finishing off with some standing bicep curls, 4 sets of 8. In terms of helping your squats, bench and deadlifts, these will do absolutely nothing, but who wants small biceps? So can't leave biceps out of programme. Doing these relatively heavy and hard. Can't say there's much scientific data to back this up, but just in terms of a mindset and the way you approach training, when I'm focusing on training heavy and pushing up my like main lifts, I like to, and I think there is a place for training all your smaller muscle groups and minor exercises like curls and push downs and raises and all those stuff, heavy and hard. And it's not unheard of that I would maybe even go sets of 6 on bicep curls and really just train them hard. And it's not that much of a crossover to any exercise, maybe apart from pull-ups. And one thing I've not really talked about during the session is form. Now, I'm going a little bit loose with the form there as I start to tire. Just in general, I'm a believer that if you're training at maximum intensity with your heaviest weights and maxing out, then you just, unless you're like a technically gifted person who's 1 in a million, probably shouldn't be able to keep like perfect technique, and there will just be some breakdown. Doesn't mean that you let it all go to shit, but there will be, you know, little bits of breakdown here and there, and that's not bad. And almost use those technical breakdowns to help you. And obviously here, you hear the ego lifting saying, oh, you're doing this or doing that to help you lift more weight. Well, when you're training heavy, that is the time to maybe let things go a little bit looser, just to obviously help shift more weight. And obviously here, I'm being a bit loose when I tire on my biceps here. I'll have a better judge when I watch this back and I'll see how all my other lifts look, but there will be some breakdown, and there maybe will be wee ways I give myself a wee help, a wee cheat, a wee assistance, but don't look at that as a bad thing. And we're going to finish off with the only way you can of a session, and that's with a physique check. Not actually sure if I'm going to show this because I'm still just losing my Christmas weight, but holding my condition not too bad, sitting around 93 kilos. So anyway, that is one of the full body sessions. As I said at the start, it's only £99. So if you are genuinely serious about your training and you're frustrated that you're not making any gains and you're seeing other people improve their lifts and you're wondering why can I not do that, or every time you try and lose weight and go on a little diet, your strength just nosedives, I'm going to teach you how not to let that happen. Again, you're just going to have like solid structure and proper programming, and most importantly, accountability over the 6 weeks, and you're going to have somebody there on hand. And I say this all the time, it's not just here's a programme and fuck off and just go and do whatever. I'm checking on me every week. You get access to me in live calls, you get access to me in the community group. Like, this is actually me guiding you through it, giving you feedback, checking over everything, making sure everything's all good. Priority list is open now. When you sign on to that, there is no commitment yet. It's just for you to get a bit more information and first dibs at the spaces, and the spaces at the reduced rate of £99, because if you're not on the priority list, goes to £149. And I don't know why you don't want to pay an extra 50 quid. Priority list closes on the 3rd, and then all spaces close on the 7th of February, and then we kick off on the 10th of February, which is the following Monday. And I wouldn't be putting myself out there and making all these big promises if I didn't know the programme was going to work. And if you're thinking, oh, I'm too busy just now and I've got stuff on and da da da. To put it into perspective, I started the programme in the middle of December, and obviously Christmas and New Year and all the social plans that come with that. I'm now into January, and one of the busiest times of year I've got with my work. I've got all my jiu-jitsu stuff going on, training that multiple days a week, and I'm away to Lisbon. Well, I'll actually be in Lisbon and probably competing on the actual day that this gets posted. So I'm away over there. I've been ill, I've had niggles, all the rest of it, and it's not stopped me making progress, and it'll continue to not stop me making progress. So whatever you think run you need, you're just getting in your own head. And the time is now for you to sign up. So please make sure you sign up. And as always, if you do have any questions about anything, please just drop me a message on Instagram, which link for that is down in the description box below. And obviously, I will share my final results of my actual progress myself before the programme goes live. And then hopefully you'll see that I've been training for however many years, and I am going to be hitting relative PBs based on where I'm at with my training just now and hitting numbers that I haven't hit in a number of years. You don't need to know about anything else this week. Strong and 6 is all you need to know about. Catch you later.